To work with shapes in Adobe Illustrator, I have a blank document set up right here, and on the left-hand side, the toolbar, I'm going to find the one that says the rectangle tool, just a picture of a rectangle. Just select that. Your cursor will turn into almost like a plus sign, and I can just hold my mouse button in and draw the shape that I want. If you notice, while I'm drawing, there's a little gray box that tells you the width and the height. So that's something that you can see. If you know the size approximately you want, you can drag the shape as needed. And when I let go, it'll create a box. The white squares all around the box will help you with resizing. I can click on one side. Again, you'll notice the gray box appearing, showing the width going to 5 inches. And I can change the height, and maybe I want that also to be 5 inches to make a perfect square. This dot in the center, if I move my mouse on top of it, I can click on it, and it will help me move the box anywhere on the screen. These little circles that have a circle inside of them, if I click and drag those in, it will make rounded edges. So if I can create rounded edges all the way to a complete circle if I want to. So that's something that would be possibly needed for you. Now notice I made it a complete circle, and I can't quite get out of it now by just dragging this back. And so one of the options I can do is undo. I can go up to the edit menu at the top and just do undo corner radius, and I can keep doing that multiple times until it goes back to a square. And then I can grab this circle and I can go all the way to the edge to make it a perfectly 90-degree corner edge. Sometimes you want to rotate the square, so if I move my cursor to any one of the corners just outside of the corner, you'll see my cursor turns into a rounded corner. If I click on that, now I could rotate it. And again, that gray box appears again. It tells me how many degrees I'm rotating it. So maybe I want a 45 degree, and it makes like a diamond shape pattern. So that's working with various shapes. Now, one of the common mistakes that students will make is they want to move the shape around, and they might grab an edge, but what happens is it'll start drawing additional shapes. And so your cursor is once you select the shape button, it's going to be constantly making those shapes. So if you want to get out of that mode, on the left hand side you have to select the selection tool, which is the arrow at the very top. I can click on that. Now I can click, and I'm not going to be creating more shapes unnecessarily. To delete a shape, I just simply click anywhere to select it, and then on my keyboard I can press the delete key. So I'm going to delete these shapes one at a time. I'll just focus on one shape. I could then click on the center, and I can move this shape around. I can still rotate it as needed, and I could resize it as needed. Resizing a corner, if I go bigger and smaller, that's fine, but sometimes I can stretch or squeeze it. If I hold the shift button in, it will maintain the aspect ratio. Also on the shape tool, if I click and hold my mouse button in, it will have a rounded rectangle tool, which is useful. But again, it's not much different than the regular rectangle tool. It just starts rounded. So that's nice to know. There's also an ellipse tool. That will allow you to draw ovals or circles. If I hold the shift button in, it will automatically make a perfect size circle. And polygon tool has different various sides. And the last one in here is a star tool. And I can create a star. Now the one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to now delete these shapes, and I want to show you one more thing. I'm going to click on I'll just delete all of them. And let's say I go to the star tool here. What I can do, instead of clicking and dragging, I can just simply click my mouse. And over here it's going to tell me how many points I want per star. Let's say I want a 9-pointed star. I click OK, and it'll create the star, a 9-point star. Or if I go to Polygon Tool, instead of clicking and dragging, I can click, and how many sides do I want? Maybe I just want a triangle. So I can click 3 sides, and it has a triangle. So there's some useful features hidden inside these. If I want an ellipse tool, if I just click, it'll tell me what's my width and height. If I want a perfect circle, let's say I want exactly a 3-inch circle, I can type in 3 in the width, and then 3 in the height, and click OK. Now I know I have a perfect 3-inch circle, and that works again for squares and rectangles. So that's how you work with creating shapes in Adobe Illustrator.